Welcome back to a brand new Roblox scripting tutorial, and in today's video I'm going to be teaching you about raycasting. Now before I explain any more, let me go ahead and show you a demonstration of what raycasting can do. So let me go ahead and hit run and you guys can watch this. So as you can see here, I'm going to have a turret and he's actually shooting this guy named Kirk, but if I put the wall in between them, as you can see, the turret will stop shooting because it knows there's a wall there, and I can move the wall, it'll keep shooting again, and I can move to Kirk, and actually it stopped shooting though because Kirk is now dead. But as you can see, it's very cool because it's like an automatic turret, and you know, it can rotate, it can do this, it can do that, and yeah, it's awesome. Anyways guys, that's what we're learning in today's video. Also, sorry if I'm a bit quiet, it is kind of late right now, so yeah. Okay, so how do you do this, you may ask? Well, we're about to find out. So first things first, go ahead and get a new base plate open. And actually, before I go ahead and go into depth and show you exactly what like that is, right? Before I show you the auto turret and how to make that, it's pretty simple to make, but I want to make sure you understand what raycasting is first, because there's honestly not much raycasting used in that, but there is some. So first, let me show you what raycasting is. Okay, so first things first, what is raycasting? So basically, what raycasting is it allows you to detect whether a part is intersecting a line segment. Now what that means is, if you guys don't know what a ray is, like a ray in geometry, if you've ever taken geometry before, it's basically like it's a long line that's infinite in one direction, so it'll go on forever in one direction, but it's finite in the other, so it'll only like start here and then it'll go all the way over here forever and ever and ever. Now actually, Roblox rays aren't like that. They kind of just stop at a certain point. But yeah, but you can make them infinite if you want to. But okay, so what I'm going to do right now is show you how to make a ray and basically how it works. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and make a part right here, and I'm going to make this just a little bit bigger, so like a square, because I like squares. And then I'm going to go down here into the surface inputs, right? The surface, or not surface, yeah, surface. And I want to change this little top surface right here. I want to change this to a hinge. And now what that does, basically, hinges you can use to like make cars in Roblox, but we're not going to be doing that. For this purpose, I'm using a hinge just to show you which way the top surface is, so it's that way. But yeah, and then I'm going to go ahead and actually, I'll leave it like that, but I'm going to put a script inside of it, and then I'm going to start writing some code. So yeah, put a script in there, and I'm going to go ahead and do local part is equal to script.parent. Alright, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and make a ray, okay, and then I'm going to cast the ray every second and see if there's a part intersecting it. Okay, so just a simple demonstration. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do local ray is equal to, or actually I'll do local my first ray, because I don't really like naming stuff just ray because it's bad practice. Like if I named it just ray, you see it's a keyword, although you could just use a lowercase r. It's not like the keyword anymore, but still, it's just, I don't like doing that. I'd rather have like a certain name for it. So I'll do local my first ray is equal to ray.new. Okay, and basically you do ray.new, right? And you can see here it says creates a new ray with the given origin and direction. Okay, so where do you want it to start? That's the origin. And then where do you want it to go? Okay, so where do you want it to go? Yeah, so we'll do ray.new, and then we're gonna do the origin. So where do we want it to start? Well, we want it to start right here at this part. Remember, we want it to just shoot up like an infinite ray. So we'll do part, or yeah, we'll do part.position. That's where we want it to start, because they're vector 3 values, by the way. And then we'll do where we want it to go. We want it to just go up, so we'll do vector3.new, and then we'll do comma 50 or comma 0 comma or 0 50 0. Basically just 50 in the y-axis, right? We want it to go up. Okay, so now it's a ray, right? It exists, but we haven't casted this ray. So it exists in like the memory, but you actually can't use it yet. So what we need to do is we need to cast the ray. Now we could just do my first ray, or no, well actually, but wait, we don't want to just cast it one time. I want to keep casting it over and over. So I'm gonna put it in a while loop. Okay, I'm gonna do while wait 1 do, basically I'm just every second this loop's gonna run, and then I'm gonna do my first ray, or actually I'm gonna do, yes, I'm going to do local hit, comma, position. And this may look a little confusing, don't worry. I did local hit, comma, position. Basically what this means is I'm saying, okay, so the part it hits, okay, and then also the position of where it hits, okay. It's giving you these two values whenever you use this function, okay. So I know you may have never define two variables in one line, but basically it's basically returning two values, this function I'm about to do, and the values are what part it hit and then the position of where it hit, right? So yeah, okay, so we're gonna do local hit position, and then we're gonna do game.workspace.find part on Ray. Okay, so as you can see here, you have to cast it in the workspace, right? But you see it's on find part on Ray, and then you have with ignore list. So you can do it like so you can so you can raycast with an ignore list, basically, which means it'll cast a ray, but you can put in a table of what you want it to ignore, and then you can do a ray with whitelist, and then you can do just find part on ray with only one instance that you want it to ignore. So we're going to do, for this example, we'll do ignore list because that's just probably the best one to do, I'd say, and then we'll go ahead and type in the values. And actually, let me go ahead and show you where those values are. So if I go ahead and type this in again, you can see there it might be a little hard to read, but it says it says all the properties for it, right? The property number 1 is the ray. Okay, so what ray do you want to cast, right? And then you want to, and then the second property is the ignore list. What parts do you want it to ignore? Which makes sense. And then the third property is terrain cells as cubes. So that basically has to do with terrain. And then the fourth property is, do you want it to ignore water? Do you want the ray to ignore water? So yeah, we'll only type in the first two properties, or the first two parameters, but because we're not going to be worrying about the second two, and those by default will have a default value, so you don't need to actually assign them if you don't want to. So yeah, okay, so we're going to go ahead and type that out. We're going to do game.workspace, find part on ray with ignore list, and then we're going to go ahead and do ray, or my first ray, because that's the ray we want to cast. And then we don't really want to ignore anything much, but we do want to ignore the actual part which is casting from right here. So we'll just type in these little brackets right here, because that's how you make a table, because the value you insert is a table of list, or a list that you want to ignore. So we're going to put in brackets just a part, and then part should be equal to script.parent, and the script should be inside the part, right? So it ignores the part, which makes sense. So then we're going to do if hit. So basically we're going to do if hit. So if it returned, right, if the ray was casted and it hit a part, well, then we want to do if hit, then print part was we'll do part was hit. Okay, or actually we'll say ray was hit by another part, or what you should do is like ray intersected another part, I guess. So yeah, okay, so we're gonna type that, and then we're going to go ahead and run this, and then we're gonna do else. We're gonna do and we're gonna do print no part found. Okay, so we're gonna test that out right now and see if this works. And basically what it's gonna do is I'm gonna make a part, and I'm gonna move it around and show you. Okay, so right now it's printing no part found because it's caching the ray. It's going all the way up, just straight into the sky, and there's no part there. But now, let me go ahead and anchor that too. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the move tool. I made a new part. I'm gonna go ahead and move it up, and then I'll move it right here. And as you can see, it says ray intersects another part, and if you wanted to, you could print out the part it did, or you can delete it. You can do whatever you want, right? Basically, if it was like a gun or something like that, you could do that. But as you can see, I moved it so high up, and basically what just happened was, wait a minute. Okay, look, so right now it says ray intersects another part, right? I moved it so high up that it didn't actually, it says no part found now, even though it's above it, right? But that's because we only casted it 50 studs up, okay? And this is past 50 studs. So it's really not infinite in one direction. It's really not infinite in one direction, but it could be if it wants to. So yeah. So it's basically, it's sort of just like a big line segment. That's what array is, right? So yeah. And yeah, if I wanted to, like I said, I could do if hit, then hit destroy, right? So basically, if the ray was casted and it found something, we'll then destroy that thing, right? That can be kind of cool, right? So I'm gonna move that right there, and boom, see, it destroyed. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, anyways, that's how that works. Okay, so that's basically what raycasting is and how it works, and that's pretty much all you need to know, actually. But I want to make it a little bit more fun. I want to actually make a turret, so that's what we'll be doing in today's video. So yeah, okay. Anyways, let's go ahead and make a turret now. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this stuff, and if you want to save it, you can, of course, but I'm going to delete it. Okay, so now we have another blank base plate, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and just grab my my character that I had. Basically, it's just an R6 character with a torso and a humanoid, which is the most important thing. That's all I really need for this character, and yeah. So all I need is a torso and a humanoid. So if you want to get that, just go into your toolbox right here, and you can just look up like NPC, and then just insert any NPC pretty much. And also I'd recommend deleting all this like other stuff, like just delete all this weird stuff and all that, and then there you go, you can use it. So yeah, also delete any scripts that are in there too. And there you go, that's your NPC. So actually I'll use this one just because. Okay, there you go. So now that I have this guy, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and make a script, and I'm going to actually make a turret first. So if you saw in the thumbnail, I used this turret that looked pretty cool. Now you could use this turret if you wanted to, but it's going to be kind of difficult to rotate the top part of it because I didn't make it, obviously. So yeah, I'm not going to even bother with it. I'm just going to insert a little basic turret. It doesn't look very pretty, I know. I made it myself. It's basically just one part at the bottom, right? And then there's one part up top too. It's a little barrel, and then I inserted the script in there. But yeah, I'll delete that for now. But yeah, that's the turret, and then I just made it a model, right? I could put like more stuff at the base if I wanted to make it pretty, obviously, but I'm not a builder, I'm a scripter, right? So yeah, okay, that's my turret. It's pretty. It's very pretty. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and just start the raycasting. Okay, I'm going to start the script. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and insert a script into my barrel. So if you make your turret, make sure the top part, name it barrel. Actually, you don't have to, you can name it whatever you want. I named it barrel, but I put a hinge on it too, so that does nothing. Remember, keep in mind that does nothing. It just looks like nice. And also anchor it too. You want to make sure that's anchored. And there you go. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to put a script inside of my barrel. So I'm going to go ahead and insert a script in there, and here we go. Okay, so first things first, we need to get a bullet to shoot, right? That makes sense. We actually need to get a bullet for the gun to shoot. So actually I'm gonna go ahead and make a bullet real quick. I'll make a little small tiny little bullet just like that. There we go. I'll make it anchored. Actually, no, don't make it anchored. Sorry, do not make it anchored. Make it black. I'm gonna make it black. I'll turn can collide off, and then that should be good. All right, and now I'm gonna rename this one to bullet too. That's pretty important. Rename it to bullet, and then I'm gonna move it in rep storage. Okay, so basically I moved it into my replicated storage, which basically is just like a storage so I can clone it and then insert it and then make it shoot out of my gun. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do with this guy. So first things first, we should probably get the bullet then. So I'll go ahead and do local replicated storage. Equal to game.getService rep storage, and then I'm going to do local bullet is equal to rep storage, wait for child, bullet. I'm getting the bullet, but basically all I'm doing right here. And then I'm going to go and get the turret as well. I'm going to do local turret is equal to script.parent. Now I know the turret itself actually isn't equal to script.parent. It's equal to script.parent, but I don't want the model. I just want the actual base, or I want the barrel, so I'll just keep that turret to make it look nicer. Okay, and then we're gonna actually define a couple more variables too, like how fast you want it to shoot. So like every how many seconds. I'll do every I'll just say every like half second, so every 0.5 seconds, and then I'll do the damage, so how much damage you want it to do. I'll say it'll do 10 damage or something like that out of 100, right? And then we'll do the speed of the bullet, so how fast you want it to go. I'd say like maybe 150. They can always change these values later. And then I'll do local aggro distance. Okay, so basically what that means is how close does the turret have to be for it to actually shoot at the person, right? Is there a certain distance? That's what it's saying, right? So we'll do 100 studs. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and make a while loop to basically loop through a function where I try to find the player and then shoot him every time, or every 0.5 seconds, which is the fire rate. So we're going to do while wait fire rate. Hey, that rhymes. I'm a rapper now. And then what we're going to do now is first of all we're going to find the target, okay, and then we're going to detect if it's realistic to shoot. Now what does that mean? Basically I'm saying I want to find the target, right, and then I want to detect if it's realistic to shoot. So if there's a wall in between the two targets, or if there's a wall in between the turret and the target, it's not realistic to shoot, right? You normally wouldn't know that's not realistic. So basically I'm going to make sure if there's a wall in between, it will not shoot. That's what that means. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and first of all loop through the entire workspace to see if we can find any targets. Okay, so also I'm gonna make a variable up here called local target. I'm gonna make it equal to nil, so just for later when we set the target equal to something, we'll have it up here. So yeah, okay, so local target equal to nil, and then I'm gonna do for iv in pairs game.workspace.getChildren do. So I'm looping through everything in the workspace, and then I'm gonna set the human equal to v.findFirstChild humanoid. Okay, so let's say it finds the NPC, so it'll do NPC or NPC.findFirstChild humanoid, and then it'll do torso v.findFirstChild torso. Okay, and then we want to make sure they exist, because right now it can loop through anything, right? It can loop through the turret and look for it, but obviously it might not actually have it. So we'll do if human and torso, and also we're going to do and if we'll do and human dot health is greater than 0, right? So because we don't want it to shoot at the human when it's dead, so we'll do and human dot health is greater than 0, so if it's not dead, right? And then we'll do that. So yeah, now basically we know we found a target. Now we want to check if it's close enough, right? So we'll do if torso dot position, so it's the position of the torso minus the turret position dot magnitude, which basically converts it into studs, right, is greater than aggro distance or less than aggro distance, then okay, so basically it's that saying, okay, is the torso is the turret less than 100 studs away from the torso or from the player? Okay, that's what it's saying. Also, if you don't know what magnitude is, I made a tutorial on that. Definitely go watch that. It'll clear that up for you. So yeah, okay, next we're gonna go ahead and do actually no, we'll skip this for now. All right, so now we're gonna do, okay, so if we found it, so that's good, right? So then we found the target, right? We found the target. So we got the target right here. We found them. We make sure they were human and stuff. We made sure they have more than 0 health, and we checked to see if they were close enough. So then we'll do target is equal to torso, right? That's that simple. And then we're gonna go ahead and go down here. And now that we have target, so we'll go down here and we'll do if target, so that way it doesn't run when there's no target. So we'll do if target, then local torso. Actually, that might get a little confusing. Local new torso is equal to. Actually, okay, I'm gonna make it simple. All right, so basically, I'm gonna set torso equal to a different value. Okay, so I already have it up here, which I could just keep it, but I'm gonna not use this one. I'm gonna make a new torso. I'm gonna set it equal to target, right? I could just do target down here, or which is the same thing, but I'm just gonna make local torso equal to target. So now I have the torso right here. Okay, that's what I'm doing. So yeah, okay, I'm gonna do turret.CFrame is equal to CFrame.new turret.position, and then torso.position. Now what does this do? I'm not sure if I actually explained this in my CFrame tutorial. Also, if you don't know what CFrame is, go watch my tutorial on that. I made a tutorial on that too. But basically, I'm not sure if I explained this part, but basically when there's 2 values in a CFrame.new, it basically changes the front surface of a part to face the second value, right? So basically what it's going to do is going to make this front surface, so which has the hinge coming out of it, because I made it like that, right? I made the front surface have a hinge. It makes it face the target, which is this guy right here. So that's what that line of code does right there. So yeah, so turn the turret to face the target. Okay, and then we're gonna do, and then we're gonna get the bullet, right? When you get the bullet to shoot, so we're gonna do local turret bullet. Actually, we'll do local new bullet is equal to bullet clone, because we don't want to just take the bullet right from rep storage, because then it won't have a bullet anymore. So we're going to clone the bullet into a new thing, and then we're going to make the new bullet position go into the turret, right? We're going to make the turret, we want to make it shoot from the turret, right? That makes sense. So we'll do turret local bullet position is equal to turret position. Okay, and then we're gonna do turret or new bullet dot parents is equal to game.workspace. So we're gonna make sure it's in the workspace so we can actually shoot. All right, and now it's in the workspace. It actually doesn't. It's not moving yet, right? So we need to make it actually shoot. Now here's where velocity comes in. Now I'm not sure if you guys have ever used velocity before. I've actually never made a tutorial on it or spoke about it before in my videos. So basically, what velocity is, if you guys don't know, it's a vector 3 value. But basically, what it does is it makes a part move, or it makes something move. All right. So if I were to set the velocity of just a part right here, right? To 100. I'm not sure if it's actually work because there might be a little bit too much friction, but I set the velocity. Okay, it went up in the sky, right? Because I set the velocity on the y-axis to. Oh, I need to anchor this, by the way. I just saw that guy fall. Sorry about that. Okay, all right. So yeah, I set the velocity to this to 100 on the y-axis, and basically what that just happened was it flew in the air and then it came back down because of the gravity, right? And now the velocity is at 0 again. But if I change it on the x-axis to 100. It'll fly right there all the way that way, and eventually it stops. It slows down. Now, why is that, you may ask? Well, that's because of friction. Okay, Roblox's built-in engine has friction, right? That makes sense. Okay, and there we go. So, yeah, okay. All right. Also, I got an error down here. That error, basically, I actually spelled something wrong on accident. So I did magnitude. I meant to do magnitude. There we go. But yeah, that's what vector velocity does. So we need to make sure our bullet has some velocity so it actually shoots, right? Makes sense. So okay, so we'll go ahead and do new bullet dot velocity is equal to vector 3 new. Wait, no, you can't do that, right? You need to actually, you don't know where it needs to shoot. You need to find the direction it needs to shoot. So how you find the direction it needs to shoot is we're going to look at the front of the surface. So which way is it facing, right? Because it'll make it turn. We're going to make it turn to the torso, right? So we're going to do new bullet dot velocity is equal to turret dot CFrame. Okay, so this C from the turret dot look vector, which basically is saying the forward direction component of the CFrame, right? So basically, you're getting the forward direction. Okay, so it's going to shoot forward or from the front surface forward. Okay, and since the turret's going to lock on, it's just going to shoot right to the torso. Right, makes sense. Now, also, if you saw earlier though, the bullet slowed down after a while, and in the air, what that's going to look like is going to look like bullet drop. Right, the bullet's going to fall down. So if your bullet speed isn't fast enough, your bullets might not actually reach your turret, or might not actually reach your target. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Anyways, all right. So now we have that. Now we're pretty much done. But now we need to make the bullet actually do damage. So we're going to do we're going to do new bullet dot touched connect function part hit, or I'll do object hit. That's the parameter. I'm sure you've used the touched event before. If you haven't, then you need to go watch my beginner tutorial series. But yeah, so we're going to do new bullet dot touched. We'll do local human is equal to part hit or object hit dot parent find first child humanoid. Right, we're gonna basically the bullet's gonna hit a part. It's gonna look in the parent, and it's gonna look for the humanoid. Okay, and then we're gonna do if human. So if it actually did hit a human, then we're gonna do human take damage, bullet damage. All right, there we go. That's pretty much it. Oh, also, this is not finished. So, okay, I got the velocity, right? The velocity or the look vector, right? We got the look vector here. I forgot something here. The velocity of the bullet, right? We got the look vector, but that's not saying the speed we want it to go. That's just where we want it to go, right? So how fast do we want it to go? Well, we want it to go as fast as we set the bullet speed, which is 150. So we're going to do times bullet speed. And basically that's saying how fast you want it to go. Okay? So there we go. Now we've used every single variable up here. So yeah, okay, that's good. All right, sweet. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and run this and see if it works. I'm going to hit run and oh, okay, look at that. So what's happening right now? It's actually working. Don't get me wrong, it's working. But what's happening is the like I said, the bullet speed isn't fast enough, so the bullet drops because of gravity, right? So the bullet drops because gravity pulls all things down or toward the center of the earth, and it actually barely scrapes the bottom of the feet, doesn't hit it yet. And since it has can't glide off, it's obviously going through the ground, so that makes sense, right? But it's not close enough to hit the target. So what we need to do either is move the target closer, or we need to make the bullet speed faster so it goes farther. So we're going to go ahead and just move him closer for the demonstration. And as you can see there, he is taking damage and he's dying. Now you might be wondering also like why he's dying so fast, because if the bullet speed was 10 and he has 100 health, then it should take 10 hits. Now it's obviously not 10 hits, and the reason why, if you guys don't know that, that why it only took like 5 hits or something like that, and that's because basically when the bullet actually hits the target, it actually can hit multiple parts. So it can hit the like the blue body, but they can also like go through the arm as well, and that'll count as 2 hits. Even though it's just 1 bullet. So obviously if you wanted to fix that, you'd have to like go through and just do, if it's hit, then do that, and obviously that's a lot more complex, tedious code, which you guys can probably figure out on your own, so I'm not going to explain that in today's video. But yeah, okay, so that's pretty much it, right? That it works. I mean, it works. But there's one thing we're missing. If you guys haven't realized it yet, we haven't even used raycasting. We haven't even used raycasting at all. And now what that means, right? You're like, well, okay, who cares? Who needs raycasting when it actually works already, right? Well, here's the problem, okay? We don't have raycasting, right? But we know what the problem is, okay? You want to see? Watch this, okay? Just watch, okay? You see? And look, all right? It's shooting at the wall. Now it's actually going through the wall because can't collide's off. But as you can see, it's shooting through the wall. Like, that's not okay, right? We don't want it to shoot through walls, right? So what we need to do is actually cast a ray and detect to see if the player is casted on that ray. So we're gonna go up here again. Because we actually didn't detect if it's realistic to shoot up here. We didn't type that code in yet, and I did that on purpose because I didn't want to confuse you guys. So yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna go up here again, and we're gonna go ahead and go in this little area before we set the target. We're gonna do local bullet ray. So we're gonna make a ray for the bullet. Local bullet ray is equal to ray.new, and then we're gonna do turret dot position, and then. Yeah, that's where we want it to start. We want to start at the turret, right? And then we want it to do. And then this is a little bit. This is going to look a little bit complex. Don't worry, it looked complex to me at first too. So then we're going to put a parenthesis, and we're going to do torso dot position minus turret dot position. Now, basically, what this means, and then dot unit, and then also times the aggro distance. Okay, now this, don't worry if it's a little confusing so far, I know it may, but what this means basically is it's saying, okay, so where do we want the ray to start? We want the ray to start at the turret position. Okay, it makes sense, that's where we want it to start. Now where do we want it to go? Okay, we want it to go at the torso, right? We want it to go right for the torso. So what we're doing is we're getting the torso position and we're subtracting it from the turret position, so it's going like minus this, okay, and then dot unit, which is like basically how you get the unit for it. I know it's a little bit weird. I don't know how to explain it, honestly. There's no good way to explain it. But basically, just know that this formula is going to give you the direction you want it to go, right? And also how, yeah, that's giving you the direction, okay? That's what this highlighted section does. Now, what this does, the multiply by aggro distance, this gives you the distance, how far you want it to go, okay? So we wanted to create a cast 100 studs one way, so then you know what I'm saying? If you wanted to cast 100 studs one way, that's how far you want the ray to travel. Okay. Now, obviously, you can make this longer if you want. It doesn't matter because we're already gonna have the aggro distance check up here. But I'll make it like 500 just to make it nicer. And yeah. Okay. Okay. So now we have that. We're gonna go ahead and do local hit, comma position. Right. We want to cast a ray. So we're gonna do local hit, comma position is equal to game.workspace. Find part on ray with ignore list, and then we're gonna do bullet ray, obviously because that's the ray that's the ray we want to cast, and then we want it to ignore the turret. We don't want it to go through the turret. And then obviously you may think, well, you don't want it to ignore the wall too, or don't you want it to ignore the player or whatever, but no, don't worry. We're gonna put one value here, which is just a turret, which is itself, right, where it's shooting out of. Okay, now that we have that, we're gonna do if hit. So if it hits something, right, which it's gonna hit the wall, right? When the ray is casted and there's a wall in front of it, it's gonna hit the wall, obviously, right? Even if it's facing, or even if it's looking at here, because the ray is casted right there, it's gonna hit the wall, right? So if the hit, because it's gonna hit, if hit is equal to torso, okay. So if there's no wall there, that means it's gonna hit the torso, right? It's gonna right to the torso. So if there's no wall there, it's gonna be the torso. So if hit is equal to torso, then the target can be equal to torso. So basically, don't set the target unless the ray hit the target or hit the torso, right? So then we'll do else. So then else, then print object in the way. Okay, so now this should work, and now it should not shoot it should not shoot if the wall is in the way. So we're going to test it out and see if it works, and here we go. So we're going to hit run, and as you can see, it's not shooting, it's printing out right there. It says object in the way, and yes, that there is an object in the way. And we'll move the wall, and then you can see there, it's not printing anything. That's because we didn't set it to print anything there. But as you can see, it is shooting, right? It shoots when it's not there, and it stopped because the player died. But as you can see, whenever the player is there and there's no wall there, it will shoot. Now, this has been the longest video I've ever made in my life, so I'm going to end the video now. But yeah, that is raycasting, guys. I hope you did enjoy the video. Seriously, guys, I hope I broke it down pretty well. Honestly, I feel like this could be like a very good tutorial for raycasting. I feel like I made it pretty simple, so I hope it was simple for you guys. Honestly, I really do. And yeah, leave a like if it helped you out, guys. Please leave a like; it does help the channel. And subscribe if you're new. I do upload Roblox scripting tutorials all the time on this video, or all the time on this channel. So make sure to subscribe for more awesome Roblox Studio scripting tutorials. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Use code TAP, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.